Have you ever caught yourself wondering, am I really on a spiritual path or just trying to look like I'm? Maybe you meditate daily, attend teachings, wear the mala pizza, but deep inside, something feels off. Have you ever asked, am I seeking truth or attention? Welcome back to the channel. Here, we go beyond surface level spirituality, and today, we're going to explore one of the most subtle and dangerous traps on the path, practicing not for awakening but for approval, not for truth but for image. This is one of the hardest truths to admit, because it lives in the shadows, and our desire to be seen as God, as peaceful, in control, Leiden. But here's the paradox: the more we cling to the image of being spiritual, the farther we drift from actual awakening. True practice begins the moment we stop performing. The moment we turn the gaze inward and ask, who am I beneath all the labels, all the roles, all the appearances? Let's unpack this. In many traditions, there's a concept called a spiritual materialism. It's when we use spiritual tools, meditation, prayer, rituals, not to let go of ego, but to reinforce it. We don't bow to the Buddha for humility. We bow to feel superior. We don't chant to dissolve the self. We chant to prove our devotion. We post pictures of our shrine not to inspire but to impress. It's unfamiliar. This doesn't make you bad. It makes you human. It also invites deep reflection. The Dharma teaches that the path is not about being seen. It's about seeing. Not about appearing awake, but actually waking up. And awakening starts when we turn the light inward. Is a powerful story of a student who went to a great teacher and asked, how can I become enlightened? The teacher replied, return to your own heart, stop pretending, start listening. That's it. Ritual, a radical honesty. So how do we fall into the trap of spiritual image? Because we crave belonging, validation, eating. You want to be part of something bigger. You want to feel special, and spiritual communities can give us that. But they can also become stages where the ego performs and grows. You might feel pressure to always be calm. You never get angry. To quote teachings perfectly, hide your struggles. But all of that is armor, and armor blocks intimacy with others, with life, with truth. Illusion Trivapa called this the seduction of the spiritual path. He warned that ego doesn't die easily, it just finds new customs. Ego of the banker becomes the ego of the meditator. Ego of the boss becomes the ego of the guru. And unless we watch closely, we'll spend years polishing our image while our hearts remain untouched. So what's the antidote? Radical self-honesty. Ask yourself, why am I doing this practice? What am I avoiding? What do I want others to see? And what am I afraid they'll discover? These questions are uncomfortable, but they're necessary, because they pierce illusion. They dismantle the performance, and they bring you face to face with the only real goal of the path, inner transformation. Here's a truth worth repeating: real practice is not glamorous, it's messy, it's quiet, it's deeply personal. It happens in the early morning hours when you sit with your breath even though you'd rather scroll your phone. It happens when you choose kindness over cleverness in an argument. It happens when you admit your mistakes without excuse. These are not things that get applause, but they grow the soul. The Buddha never said, be impressive. He said, be awake. That means being present with what is of and if what is uncomfortable, unflattering, unspiritual. One of the greatest signs of progress is not how serene you look, but how honest you are with your pain. Not how many teachings you quote, but how deeply you've lived them. You don't need to prove your spirituality. You need to live it, in your body, in your speech, in your relationships, and how you treat yourself when no one's watching. True practitioner is not concerned with appearances. They are obsessed with truth, not religion, not sincere, not perfect, not committed. So the next time you catch yourself seeking praise for your practice, pause, spy, and bring your attention back to the breath. Act to the moment. Act to what's real. Practice is not a performance. It's a path, and it's walked in silence, in shadow, in solitude. It's not always beautiful, but it is always honest. And if you find yourself in the trap of spiritual or instant despair, just see it with gentleness, with humor, with courage. Seeing it is already a step toward freedom. If this message spoke to your heart, let us know. What traps have you faced on your path? What helped you return to your truth? Share your reflections in the comments. And if you found this valuable, please subscribe, like, and support the channel, where sincerity matters, where honesty matters, and together, we can walk this path and not for show, but for awakening.